chat bots built now will be able to fully replace a person in behind the screen. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, you either cook at home, which is probably the 95% of food consumed, and then the remaining 5% is our kitchen operates very much like a mother's kitchen, but it's just more at scale.
Yeah.
If you consume the right ingredients or you have consumed a lot more ingredients, these are all things that are coming out of your P&L that you need to have visibility and awareness of. And you can do them without tech. Blockchain or crypto projects are solving are real, and they're there. And there are projects that are being that are doing very well.
Today's guest, Rami Baassiri. Rami is transforming how Romanian families put food on the table by scaling homemade cooking through technology. Leading Manj, he delivers authentic Romanian meals that give families time back while preserving tradition. From Dubai's tech scene to Romanians' kitchens, Rami believes the future belongs to those who embrace change while honoring their roots.
Welcome, Rami. I checked your profile and it's quite interesting in terms of technology and food. So what's the motivation behind?
So initially, first, thank you for bringing me on. I'm happy to be here with you and Emil. I guess first, let's talk about food and then how to bridge technology with food, right?
Yeah, that's good.
So food, I entered the food space about 4 years ago. So it hasn't been a long time since I've been in the food space. And the main thing that I think about is, so the problem we're solving, people eat every day, multiple times. So that's something that you do every day. That's something everyone does every single day. So, and then you have a lot of options in front of you. You make your own food, you go to a restaurant. There's a lot of options out there that are solving this specific problem. And so we at Manj, and I don't know, let me introduce Manj a little bit and then
please.
I'll go into food. And so the company that I'm leading is called Manj. It has a few brands all doing a direct-to-consumer Romanian homemade food delivery. And we send or we deliver food next day. So you order today, you get it tomorrow. It's not like a Glovo or a Bolt food where you get it instantly. But the benefit there is that you get the food in bulk, so you get it for a few days. You don't have to think about ordering food or thinking about what to eat every day. You just have the food in your fridge, and then you get to eat it every single day. So that's one of the problems we're solving, is that you can have the peace of mind that I have food for me in the fridge whenever I want to eat something. And then the second layer on top of that is that it's homemade Romanian food, which is kind of like instead of the mother who usually, like most of the time, but not necessarily 100%, instead of the mother being the one who is making the food, there is a service out there that is giving the mother the option to outsource this, let's say, chore or activity when she wants to, and then whenever she has the time or she feels like cooking, then she has the option to order or to cook whenever whatever is right for her at that time.
So free mom's time.
Yes, exactly. This is kind of
This
what
is the product.
Yeah, this is the emotion behind the problem.
Yeah.
This is what we're trying to solve. And so initially, this is what Manj is. And one of the main brands, Wala Comunități, has been in the market for a very long time. And that's the main product that we have. And then we've recently entered into different segments, one of which is catering, because we realized with more people knowing the brand, they started coming to us not only to have the family meals, but also to cater for their events, their birthdays, whatever event that they have for larger groups. And so that's a segment that we have been in the past year or so. And so back to your question, which is food and tech. Food, again, people eat every day. The experience of food is something that's very important. What do you eat? How do you order? How you get the delivery? How do you deal with the customer service after the delivery if you have any issues, any problems? So there's this whole, let's say, experience stack that defines how you interact with the food service, right? And so it's not only about the quality of the food or the taste of the food, it's multiple things. And so we as a company, we are providing all of these services. And so it's very important for us to have customer excellence in every single step of the way. And so the mission here, which is what I mentioned before, which is freeing up mom's time or helping families have more quality time together, eating the homemade cooked food, is basically what we strive as a company to do by providing or being able to provide an excellent service every single time.
Is there something that other markets do not feel the need for, or they didn't get the memo yet?
One, Romania is not an individualistic society. It has the family bond. And so one of the reasons for this is when you have a family bond society, people tend to eat more together, which favors this kind of food. That's and family-sized meals, right?
I was thinking that, for example, Middle Eastern families are much more together than Romanian families. Is this correct? I might have...
No. You're 100% right. When I think Dubai, for example, I didn't think Middle East.
Okay.
Dubai is
it's
just
something else.
Exactly. In other Middle Eastern countries like Lebanon or Jordan, for example, this service exists, but more on an offline method.
All right.
So a lady that is cooking from her home, you call her up and you tell her, I need this, rather than an online website that has all the products there and you just make the order online. Another thing that also worked out here is the price proportion also. So in Romania, given its let's say the income levels or median income levels in the market and translated into disposable income and what the disposable income per family, having a product whose price proportion is attractive in the market, that also makes the product overall more attractive to the families. Because when you're buying 5 kilograms, 7 kilograms, 10 kilograms of food on a certain week, obviously the food that you're going to get per portion is going to be much cheaper than if you order something on Glovo.
Yeah. I'm curious about the thing, if you have this information, just so what is that particular price where at price per portion, where do you see the demands starting to decrease very quickly? I'm talking about Bucharest.
Yeah.
No.
Like I've done this analysis a while ago. I can't remember the number,
Okay.
so it's...
Okay, good. So regarding the way you have, where have you found the business when you came, and what have you done with it in the meantime? How did you infuse it with technology or with processes? I'm curious about this.
Okay. So as a product or as a company, I would say the main things that were added, let's say, was the catering segment that I mentioned a little bit ago. We have a lot of plans in the pipeline. We have a strategy for the direct-to-consumer segment, how to grow it. In terms of internal procedures and processes, I think coming here, the tech stack inside the company was pretty good, I would say. It had built its own ERP. And since then we've been building on top of it and making it bigger and bigger and more, let's say, customized to the company. We have a CRM. We've changed a few CRMs in the past few years, but
Now we're stable.
Now we're stable, but it was on a good CRM even when I came. And what we've essentially did, like in the past few years, is automate or digitize a lot more processes to become part of the ERP. Like when I came, the ERP was smaller scale, let's say, and then it got bigger. So a lot of more digitization or automating of processes with the ERP. And now it's a lot about how do we factor in AI into the processes that we have. Now that there are agents out there, there's a lot of things that we can do. So this is something that we are eyeing next, in the sense of, okay, we have an ERP, but what else how can we leverage AI to factor it into the internal company processes?
Do you remember, or can we give us an example of one process that was automated and changed the way you guys did things there?
Yes, like very recently, what comes to mind is this: our operation manager. He's been working a lot recently on how to do the whole supply chain process on the ERP, from not like before. The process started from acquisition, but now it started from even before, which is, what do we need to acquire? What are the par levels? Like, basically, how many, let's talk chicken.
Yeah.
Par levels means how many chickens do we need to have in the warehouse at all times? Like, this is, yes. And then you start from there, and then you start to do not the acquisitions,
Consumption?
the requisitions based on par levels and what you need to buy, based on also demand that we expect in the next few days. And then you go into the purchase order, then you get into the actual purchasing of the products, and then the products coming into the warehouse, how they are registered, and then which warehouse they get into. So this whole traceability of right from the beginning step to the last step, which is the food, where it is, and how can we track where it is and which warehouse it is, that this whole thing was partially there, like, but not in a fully fledged line from the beginning to end, which is something that we've been working on recently.
So it was
That's
not
just one
laboratory.
example.
It was not at laboratory level. You knew in general.
Exactly. Like, it did the job back then, but now the process has been much more optimized for it to be more efficient for us.
Right now, do you see low-hanging fruits in, for example, AI implementation, or coming from technological innovations that are available on the market that you could implement, or you are considering?
I think with the workflows, like the AI agent workflow builders, like N8N, for example, I think with these, we can do a lot. A lot of it can be done on the marketing side. And this is something I've been playing around with, like the vibe marketing world, where we digitally we're on a lot of platforms, like Facebook and Google, etc. And then how can we integrate all the data, put them in one platform, potentially also add an extra layer of analysis or finding correlations in between, let's say performance and certain content elements, and then get you the end results by the end of the workflow. That's one thing that I've been thinking of.
And where did you have the biggest challenge in collecting the data, in syncing all the platforms together, interpreting it?
No, I think the challenge is time. Like, you're not doing something more than what you can do.
Okay.
You're just building a workflow that allows you to do it when you want, with a click of a button. And then the more of these workflows that you do, the faster or more efficient the team is. Another process or another thing I'm looking at is the customer service. And of course, everyone's talking about automating customer service. Klarna went into the automation, but then they reverted back. They rolled back. And so
Partially.
Partially?
Rolled back. Yeah, they rolled back partially. They said that they will need some people back in order to be able to...
You can't. That was a bold move. And I think even with that, and our customer service team is not very big, and I think we will still require people at all times, but this can help us make the team more productive with the automation. And the automation doesn't need to be like a complete automated chatbot or conversation. It can be more on the triaging, the supervision. There's more elements that we can do to be able to improve the department without replacing the human touch, because after all, people still need that.
Yeah, that is correct. So practically in the support area, are you looking for AI to take over a part of the tickets that are coming in, a part of the phone calls that are coming in, or where do you plan, or to work as an assistant for the people who are replying to the messages?
Yeah, I would say it's the latter two in the beginning. I think phone calls will be the last one that I would tap into, especially because it is also the lowest used channel.
Form of
Channel.
yeah.
What you have.
The mostly used channels is chatbot, not chatbot, sorry, chat on the website. This is the one that is mostly used, and then comes email. And so, first, it would be assistance to help the customer service agents on improving improving the performance and helping them do their job better. Like, I don't feel that chatbots built now will be able to fully replace a person in behind the screen. I don't want that.
Yeah, that is something that none of us want.
Yeah.
At the same time, what I believe is that when companies that are competing one with each other will start to cut costs, and those costs will be part of survival, it will be a need and not something that anybody will want.
Yeah. It will become a choice that you make as a company, as an extra cost to maintain
A certain level, a certain
level.
differentiator.
Exactly. If you believe that this is a real differentiator.
So, as example, even today there are a lot of companies that are creating manually shoes, that are doing manufacturing in the old sense of the way, and they are keeping their differentiator,
Exactly.
their differentiating
Factor.
way of doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but at the same time, most of them are doing them automatically.
Yes.
So at the beginning of the discussion, you mentioned the fact that it's not only about the product, but it's about the experience, and even the experience is split into multiple niches. Where do you find the biggest challenge in optimizing, or not necessarily optimizing, but into creating the experience that you want to create for the users?
Interesting question. I've never thought of the most challenging one. We go into, let's say, cycles, like in the business of what to focus on. Like this quarter, we're focusing on this segment. Like, for example, now we're working on the website. We have a new website that we've been working on recently. And now the focus is how can we elevate the experience on the website to make it like extremely friendly to the customers. Like delivery, for example, it has been going well, like the delivery experience. By delivery experience, it means when you are on the website, what options do you have to choose of when you want the food to be delivered? Because it's tomorrow, so you choose the interval that you want. What is the accuracy of our delivery time compared to the interval that you chose? And then how was the overall delivery experience? Whether your driver, did he call you? Did he bother you? Did he come to you with a car? And then like, how was the conversation with the driver? Was the food delivered in was
bag.
it handled well?
Yeah.
Or it was not handled well? So this is the delivery experience. And so this has been good for a while. So we haven't touched it in the past a couple of quarters. The time is coming for that because you never want the same thing to stay on the status quo for a while. You always need to figure out how to elevate it. But now the focus has been mostly on the website experience, and obviously the food quality and the taste and variety. This is always this is the one that doesn't stop because every day you are cooking. So you need to make sure that the food that you're delivering every day remains consistent every day. And then variety is what you see on the website and what you can order. And you also you also need to innovate all the time to be able to show novelty to the consumer, or they get bored from the same products every single day. And so this part never stops.
Do you feel cycles in the product themselves? Like, for example, it's a product that I put on the market. It went well for 3 months, and then it started to decrease. And this is happening a lot, or do you have, considering you are selling mama's food, you don't have this type of cycles?
No, you definitely do, because when you start innovating, you start doing products that are not necessarily like, okay, your mom's probably did it at some point, but it's not the Romanian classic.
It's reinterpreted.
Yes, it's
It's
reinterpreted. Like, for example, Quesadilla. Quesadilla is a top product that we sell, but I wouldn't consider it, and you guys
In
tell
the
me.
mother's
Like,
repertoire.
yeah, exactly.
it's not.
Never.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, but Quesadilla is a product that we launched and it did very well, or it's doing very well. It's been in the portfolio for a while. And so when you innovate, you don't necessarily only limit yourself to those products, because then the pool is not very big. So you innovate with products that you think the market would want
React
and would love. And so sometimes you launch and it goes well in the beginning, it sells a lot because it's on the front page of the website, or you send an email about it, or, but then it drops because, the people...
Novelty factor has waned off.
Exactly. But sometimes, no, like, people liked it, and people, like, you look at the return on that specific product and you see that, okay, people are ordering it again, which means product market fit. People like the product.
Did you, 1 second, I felt you, yeah. Did you have a surprise with a food that you launched, like you to say, like, I really didn't expect that? Either as a very well received food, or food that was not received well at all, didn't move the
Like,
needle.
what comes recently to mind is the crepe collection, so clatite.
Clotite,
Yeah.
man.
So-
did they work well?
Yeah, they work.
I will imagine.
yeah.
Instantly.
So
I
they
would
did,
as
they
well.
did better than what I expected. And consistently.
Are they sticky also?
What do you think?
Sticky in the sense, are the consumers coming back to them?
It's been too soon to start the analysis. It's been like 3 weeks, I think, since we
Okay.
launched. It did well like, usually it's 1 or 2 weeks and then things start to slow down. So far it's going well.
Because
And so-
clotite
It's very Romanian.
is very Romanian. At the same time, expectations are very high.
Okay.
This is why I'm asking. So,
It's
very
al-
interesting.
It's also a product that, especially our generation, for me, clatite takes me back to grandma. So not that much to mom, but to grandma, for example. Because I remember when we went to visit, she was always expecting us with clatite.
Clatite, nice.
Yeah.
You really made me hungry now.
This episode makes me hungry. Rami, you were talking about data.
Yes.
And I'm curious, in a sector which is connected to food, and for me, when I think about food, I just think about real food, that's all. What kind of data do you analyze, and how do they inform your decisions?
Okay. So I would say we haven't been using data as much as I would like to.
Okay.
We have the ERP, so we have a lot of data there. We have the CRM, and we have a lot of data there. And combined, the data is just endless, how much we can work with data. The data that we look at mostly every week, every month, are customer-related data, a little bit on behavior. So we look at so we used to look at some point, and then we paused for a bit, and now we're coming back. Everything related to customer behavior, like churn rate and LTV, and repeat rate, number of days between first and second order, and then obviously you segment customers and you see
Patterns.
Exactly. You see your customer base divided into all the different segments, like the loyal and we used to call them soulmates. So we did a lot of work on those, and you start to see the variation in between them, or what's happening to them month on month, how different activities that we've done could influence certain segments. And then we paused for a bit these analysis, and now we're integrating into a BI tool, which is a SaaS, connects to our database that has all of these dashboards. what we discussed, but there's a lot more on product. What product people start with and they stick because they started with that product. Let's say sarmale. Sarmale is one of the top sellers. And so one of the things that we saw is that the people who started with sarmale was a great experience and they were more likely to come back. Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah, that's an interesting
Very
one.
interesting.
And so this SaaS platform has a lot of features that we want. Luckily, we have all the data that it needs to be fed real time, obviously, with all the tables and the dashboards and the graphs that we need. So this has been implemented. We started working with it, but now next quarter actually is our quarter to start taking insights into decisions and moves.
And if I assume I have a magic baguette and wand, and I can say, Rami, there's no restriction in terms of budget, time, etc. What kind of data would you like me to provide today that would be relevant for you?
Other than what we have,
Than what you have. So if there would be a curiosity in one area, going back on this example that I'm having this magic wand, and I'll say, well, I can provide you.
That's I love the question because it makes me think. The most important things, and we've done a little bit of customer interviews with our customers at some point to understand their behavior and motivation. Like when you ordered from us, what was going on in your mind like a few minutes or a day before
Like
that
the job to be done.
Exactly. Like what essentially is what job are we doing for you? And the more data we understand, like the more understanding of our customers we have on that, the more we can figure out what needs to be addressed or changed or focused on in the company to be able to serve them better. Because at the end of the day, we are another substitute of what's on the market. Like you either cook at home, which is probably the 95% of food consumed, and then the remaining 5% is restaurants, orders from direct to consumer, orders from Glovo and Bolt Food, etc. And so when you ordered from us, you wanted something. You had an objective or something that a job to be done. And the more I understand the consumer mind on this, the more I can take up more share of this 100% food consumed in Romania, Bucharest, whatever it is. And so this is on a holistic, very high level understanding. But then there's a lot of, and we do a lot of surveys to understand customers. Like when we want to improve the delivery experience, we do surveys to understand, okay, these are our intervals now. What is your preferred time of delivery so that we can cater or adjust the delivery intervals to that? Products. We've done a campaign at some point that suggests us the food that you'd like. And if we choose the food that you'd like to make it part of the menu, you get a certain award. And that gives us insights on what people want to eat or what products people would want. And so there's a lot of these small things that we try to survey and call customers and try to get as much insights as possible. But if I have a magic wand, understanding the consumer mind of why or what pushes them to order, that's basically what would unlock a lot of things.
And considering that this job to be done research is probably at the beginning, do you have any preliminary story about this job to be done on the average? Again,
it's what I mentioned in the beginning. The last time we've done the jobs to be done interview was like a year ago.
Yeah.
We need to do it again very soon because we have a few hypotheses that we want to validate. But what we saw is that because the database is huge, there is many jobs to be done. There are many jobs to be done. But the one that we are striving to please as our mission are the mothers who are working and are busy and they don't have time to cook, or when they have time to cook, they'd rather spend that time with their children or doing something for themselves, but they still want to feed their family the food that they were eating when they were young by their mothers. And so that we are now providing that option that you can have so that you go and do whatever you'd like to do.
So time for the family.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is the
And
job to be done.
Yes.
Actually, some ex-colleagues of mine, they are using Oala cu bunătăți, and
Nice.
one of the things that she always said in that group, when she said, the guy says, my wife never cooks, and said, you want me to cook or you want me to spend time with you?
Nice.
So
Man.
Nice.
it's quite in
So
line
jobs
with
to be done validated.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm curious also, what is the most, so the hour interval where you get the most orders?
It's lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
Yes.
And you are getting them for the next day.
No, you get the
No,
they
I'm-
order.
when they order, not for
so
when.
most of it is in the evening.
In the
A
evening.
lot of it is in the evening.
Like 8 to 10 or
Yeah,
5 to 7 or something like this.
6, 7, up to 9.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's like it's not a huge difference between, let's
So
say.
it's not something that it's outstanding.
No,
This
no.
is the interval when.
No, it's not. But it is more. Like the evening is more because probably people finished work. They're now thinking, what do I want to eat tomorrow? Or what do I want to eat in the weekend? And then they start taking action.
So also, I believe that quality of your customers is also planning. They're planning ahead.
Yes. And it takes educating the market to do that as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're competing with Glovo, and we're not competing with Glovo, but a customer is either choosing Glovo for lunch or with us the day before, you need to somewhat make the customer understand that if you want the food from us, then you need to order one day before. If you during the day you realize you want our food for dinner, unfortunately we can't provide that. Of course, there's a lot of work we're doing to try to see how we can reduce the order to delivery time, right? Because now you order at night at 11 p.m. you get the
it
food
tomorrow.
in the morning, and we're trying to bridge that gap as much as possible because we want to be as close as possible to consumer needs. Our customers now understand that to get this food that is personalized for you based on your needs, and it's in big quantities and all the elements of our product, then you need to order one day before. And to a certain extent, we've succeeded with the customers that we have now because they've got used to it. But if we want to take a larger share of the market, then you'd need to educate the market on the benefits you'd get because of planning. And yeah, this is mainly it.
I'm curious about the thing that thing is coming from, let's put it under brackets, it's coming from fear. What is the difference and the similitude between your kitchen and the mother's kitchen, and the process and the food, how the food is
Okay. So our kitchen operates very much like a mother's kitchen, but it's just more at scale.
yeah.
I
So
wouldn't
there
say
are more mothers there.
so it's like it's what you do in a small kitchen, but just bigger and bigger and bigger. And at some point that becomes counterproductive because you don't want the same process that you do in a small kitchen to do in the big kitchen, because then becomes more of an operational debt. It becomes an issue to your production. It reduces your flexibility, it reduces your capacity, etc. And I'll give you one simple example. Soups. When you do soup at home and you're doing, let's say, 5 portions, you're
3
using a
liters
small
or-
pot.
Yeah.
And then when you do 10 portions, you make it bigger. When you do 20 portions, you make it bigger. In our production, we're still using big pots, like 50-liter pots. And when we're preparing 10, 15 soups every day, you have 15 pots on the stoves every day.
Yeah.
And if you think technologically and like if you think efficiency and optimization, it at some point it no longer makes sense to use all these spots. It just makes more sense to use certain machines, like it's called marmita
Heater.
here.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. A heater,
The boiler.
practically.
Yeah. And so, because the more you use spots, if you want to grow more, if we want to double in size, does that mean that we're going to have 30 or 15 stoves of 100 liter and you keep growing that? At some point, you need to make some compromises to make things more efficient or more optimized. But at the same time, you don't want to lose this flavor of having the mother's kitchen.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go too industrial, because then you lose what we have now, which is, yeah. And so you need to find the right balance. And the right balance, it needs a lot of research, understanding, testing to see what is the right balance. But ideally to find efficient ways that keeps the food consistent and good quality, while making it efficient for you to be able to scale or grow or whatever it is.
Is there a change, an operational improvement that was, let's say, proposed by the team and you said no is not, so you decided together no because it will be separating us too much from the way we are keep cooking at home?
There were times when like big process changes, not yet. These are things that we're starting to work on now. But there were small things like, why can't we compromise on certain elements of the product to make things more efficient? Like one thing,
not putting carrots or something like this.
Yeah, like mentions for it, like personalization.
Okay, good.
Personalization is one. Because personalization makes things more complicated.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that we've discussed is, what do we do with personalization?
For clarity purposes, personalization means that somebody will ask his chorba without certain ingredients.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And so also you need to figure out the right balance between personalization and process and operation. Because if you leave personalization open to any kind of personalization, then you might get some weird requests that you can do, or they will mess up the whole operation flow. So again, it's something where we need to find the right balance to maintain the elements of the product, but make it in a way where we can operate and we can give the consumer the same product with the same consistency and quality.
If you're looking at the kitchen, how it was 10 years ago, how it is now, what do you think the difference is between the kitchen that is today and the kitchen that it will be in 10 years from now will be?
Our kitchen or kitchen?
Let's go in kitchens in general.
Kitchens in general. I think the thing I find similar to what we were discussing about AI, maybe at the beginning,
before we started,
that it's inevitable, right? And it's here, and we were discussing certain topics that they are bound to happen, and there's no, like they're happening. Similar with food, it's going to be more robotics and more equipment with certain intelligence and robotics. And we can see a lot of those already. We can see robotic machines that are making stews. Of course, we can see the robots making like baristas and serving salads. These are now old.
One second, when you say making stews, you are referring a system that is able to pick up its ingredients, put them in the pot, and then mixing them together and making sure that they are good.
Yes, but not the pickup. You feed it the ingredients.
You feed it.
I don't know if you feed it like whole or cut, but then they like it makes the food. It makes the stew, and not one pot. Like it has like 20 pots operating at the same time, and so this is a big industrial operation, huge machine, and there's a company in Holland that is doing this now. I've checked it out. It's still very early, I believe, in our world, like to be fully automated this way. But in 10 years, for sure, there's going to be a lot more of those.
So right now, when we are looking at industrial robots, we are looking at special purpose system.
Yes.
do you believe that general purpose robots will be able to be involved in the kitchen and will have a relevant impact?
By general, you mean like
A humanoid robot who you will be able to tell, let's make a duck soup.
and that humanoid just goes and does it.
Goes and does it.
I think this is a broader question of whether humanoids will be commercially ready in 10 years and will be doing whatever humans are doing now. In my opinion, I think it's more likely that you find robotics in kitchen because we're starting to see this happening, and it will become more scalable and more commercial with the past 10 years. Is a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT was launched 2.5 years ago.
And
Imagine
look what
where
happens.
we are now.
Yeah.
And robotics is not next. It's happening in parallel, but it still hasn't seen the boom that.
Yeah. At the same time, self-driving cars, even if they were yesterday news, they still not impacted all our lives.
Yes. Still in the very early.
Yeah.
And in certain areas. So in 10 years is a lot of time. And so there's definitely going to be more automations and robotics in the kitchen. Not humanoid.
Not humanoid. Okay, good.
Just keep it a little more to today, even though fast future is coming. I was considering while you were talking about a friend of mine. He has a very nice hotel at the seaside, and this year he wants to focus more on kitchen and efficiencies. So for the people who are looking, to bring a little more efficiencies to kitchen, what's your advice? And I'm talking about me individually in my kitchen, even though I would need a lot of efficiencies there, but I'm talking about businesses.
Better you order from Walla.
Yeah.
One important piece is what we are just discussing, which is the kitchen in a proper optimized way for it to scale and produce food at high quality and consistency? Because I've seen a lot of kitchens that have scaled volume wise, but did not scale the processes and the procedures with, or machines as well with it, and so now they have technical debt, operational debt. And so that's one important piece, is to identify whether you are aligned with the volume, like the processes are aligned with the volume. Another is to have like tech. I don't know how much tech there is, but tech is an extremely important piece to be able to track things, look into cost, looking into the ingredients, how much things are costing you, how the transfers of ingredients are happening in the kitchen. Like, these are all steps into just one main objective, which is tech giving you the flexibility of what is going on in the kitchen. Not only visibility, but is also running the show in the back end.
A real-time perspective.
Yes. Like having all the recipes on the ERP and being able to measure how much ingredients you've consumed on a certain day, if you've consumed the right ingredients or you have consumed a lot more ingredients. These are all things that are coming out of your P&L that you need to have visibility and awareness of. And you can do them without tech. But if you need tech to be able to have better visibility and to scale.
Based on your experience in previously, did you see this traceability happening in smaller kitchens than yours?
When you said previously?
Previously, I'm talking about cloud kitchens and so on. Because this type of traceability, knowing a little bit about restaurants, I think it's very difficult to obtain.
Yes, exactly.
You are operating on your end very highly professional, and you have the advantage of the volume, and this allows you to keep a certain level of traceability. But
small restaurants, yes. So in the past 2 years, there's been a boom in SaaS applications that are targeting these small restaurants, mom and pop or 2-3 branches restaurants, to be able to do all of these things. To be like they've, let's say, democratized access to ERPs that help you do what we're trying to do with our ERP.
The question is it sustainable for them? Because it's a lot of data collection that needs to happen, and you need to have both the systems and also the people that is inserting the data if you're not having a way to collect it automatically through video feeds, for example.
Yes.
Have you started doing that?
What?
Like collecting data directly from video feeds?
Oh no, video feeds. No.
No, okay.
You mean videos?
Video feeds that are always catching the
What?
place of work and understanding that 3 carrots got into the soup.
Okay. No,
No.
we haven't looked into.
You are
that yet.
weighing everything. People need to weigh everything, and then
Exactly.
they are putting in the tablets or something like
Exactly. Exactly.
this. Okay, which don't imagine that is happening even in 5-star hotels' kitchens.
So you don't have to weigh every single thing and log it. You try to create systems where you try to minimize the number of data entries and weighing, but still get the data at the end of the day. So
Okay.
because if you weigh every single thing,
It's-
it's
Gonna
impossible.
slow down.
It's going
Exactly.
to add so much fat into the process, and you don't want that.
Exactly.
And so you try to look to see what should we weight at what point, like kind of like checkpoints.
Okay.
So you can weigh things at every point, or you can do checkpoints. But then if you see that there's a problem here, then you zoom in and you try to see what happened here.
So like identify the choking points, and then there you
Do the
measure
process there.
things and infer the things that happened in between.
Exactly. And then
Okay.
you start going deeper and investigate.
So for example, this would mean weighing each of the plates that is getting out of the kitchen, and at the same time weighing all the inputs in the kitchen, everything that entered in the kitchen. And in the
Yes.
meantime, at the end of the day, you make the difference.
Yes. But also you have to extend it to the what's going out of the warehouse as well.
Okay.
So yeah. So yes, these are
Okay.
you're on the right track. This is how we look at
Okay.
it. So you try to minimize the amount of work that you have to do to be able to collect the data. So you again balance. You find the right balance between how much to collect, but not add too much processes.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah. I would have loved it to work directly on the video feeds to understand each.
Is that commercial now? Like is it?
It's possible right now. I don't know if it's already applied,
Yeah.
but today you can do it.
Yeah, tech-wise.
Tech-wise, you can do
I've
it.
seen it, but
So tech-wise, you can do it. Now, if it was implemented in kitchens doing that, I don't know.
we don't know yet. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I only saw a study case from a coffee shop, which was actually looking at but not on the ingredients of the coffee or the water. It was mainly how productive are the people that are working based on the time they are spending and
Yes.
where they are wasting time.
Like,
Like
monitoring processes.
Yeah, like taking the cash or chit-chatting or actually spending more time in preparing the coffee because of whatever inefficiencies. That's
Who
what I
did that?
said.
Which
I think I saw a German company.
German company?
Yeah, on LinkedIn I saw it.
Right now, you can do a lot of these things really plug and play with libraries on AWS and so on.
Nice.
Yeah.
As we're talking a little about the future, I'm not sure if it's future or not, but I heard you talking in a different podcast that I've seen with you about this concept, which I never knew about it. So thank you for that. But I said, I'm going to ask here as well. So this idea of cloud kitchen, what is it and how do you see that?
So, cloud kitchens is a term that can be used or is used interchangeably among different business models. The main cloud kitchen that started, like the main idea behind cloud kitchen started in 2015 or 2016. And it started off with an entrepreneur who, his name is Diego, and he was thinking, okay, the world is heading in a direction where food delivery is becoming more and more popular. And so restaurants don't need as much space as they needed, especially restaurants who are relying more than 50% of their orders on delivery. And so why that restaurant should have a expensive rent on a high street and just doing deliveries from there, while we can go for a cloud kitchen, which is a property, real estate, in a not so high street, somewhere in the middle of the city, but not on a high street, somewhere in the
In the shadows.
like a distressed real estate, yes. You get that, you flip it into, like, let's say it's a big property, you flip it into 15 or 20 small kitchens, like 15, 20 square meters, with shared space where you can use the shared space for certain like storages and garbage room and toilets, etc. So the 20 square meters can allow you to, even though it sounds small, but it allows you to to be very productive, given that a lot of the space that you need is now outside in the shared service, and you just focus on the cooking itself in the 20 square meters. And this helped restaurants become cheaper, not cheaper, to become,
More
to
efficient.
save money, more
Yeah.
efficient, because then you need less labor and cheaper real estate. And it also helped restaurants to scale faster, because it's more of a plug and play solution. You don't need to think about the fit outs, etc. You just go, you put your equipment, and then you just start delivering. And then it also allowed chef entrepreneurs who want to create something to test it out in one of these cloud kitchens. So this is the cloud, and then that's the whole idea in 2016. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, it skyrocketed, because restaurants, like a lot of people, wanted an outlet for them to deliver food from.
Based on your knowledge, is this something that is available, or it's functional also in Romania, or not quite?
Yes. There's one of them, which is called Soul Kitchen.
Okay.
It's a part of a group that we operate within, and it has, I think, 10, 15 kitchens, fully booked. Like, there's a waiting list there.
So it's
Because there isn't much other players. Glovo was doing it, and I think they closed. And then there's Soul Kitchens, and
so it's a functional business model.
it's a functional business model, yes,
Nice.
in Romania. And globally, there were some geographies where it didn't work as much as the hype said it would work back in COVID times.
So practically, does this solve also the problem with certifications for the? So if I have an idea of a recipe that I want to start selling on Glovo tomorrow,
Clătite.
like clătite, yeah, but delivered instantly, yeah? Okay, good. So I would really love some clătite. So would I be able to start selling next week on Glovo using the certifications of the kitchen, or do I need to certify myself?
No, you need to certify yourself. I don't know the specifics. I'm away. I'm not.
Okay.
But I know that you, like, think of it this way: you are renting an empty space, a kitchen that is now yours, and you need to, and it has the basic equipment, but not the specialized equipment. Like if you want to do pizza, you bring
You
the
need
oven,
the oven, the pizza oven.
Yeah, but the main things like the stoves, all of this is already in the kitchen, and then you license it, and I think they help you. Soul Kitchens, they do the help, but you need to license it, and then you can kick off the work.
Okay, so it's not like a co-working space where I can work 3 hours there. It comes with the
Exactly. Some markets or geographies globally were able to do this because of regulations. They allowed them to do this, but I think in Romania it's not that easy to be able to do the model that you're discussing.
Okay, good, because it's much more heavy-handed, the rule of the law.
Yeah. On this specific thing, yes.
Okay.
Do you have any curiosity? Because we are approaching towards the last part of the episode, but I'm pretty sure maybe you still have some curiosities.
I always have curiosities. I will be jumping totally in another direction, as I know that you are interested also in blockchain and all this world. Yeah. So I'm curious, where do you see it going in the next 2 years?
So I used to be involved in a project in blockchain. And then I haven't been involved in the past, let's say, year and a half. Since then, I've been eyeing what's happening with the blockchain, but not too much in it.
Not involved directly.
Yes. Yes. And what I would say, like, I don't have a 2-year timeline. I have a 10-year
10-year
timeline.
I'm more curious about that.
Because like blockchain, the way I see it is blockchain is the technology, and crypto projects, like as a blanket statements, are here to stay. But 99% of them are not going to be here in 10 years, and 1% will, 2%, very small amount of projects will. The problems that blockchain or crypto projects are solving are real, and they're there, and there are projects that are being that are doing very well, and they are integrating more and more with society. Stripe acquired yesterday its second crypto project, and so you're seeing the big non-blockchain companies acquire blockchain companies, and so but you don't still hear, like 2 years ago everyone was just talking about blockchain, Bitcoin, what's happening. Now it's more calm and chill, right? Because this goes in cycles, and when the cycle goes up, everyone's talking about it, and then when it goes down, it's just this technology is gonna die.
Where do you feel we are today on the cycle? We are on the upswing or the downswing or at the middle?
No, now we're in the calmer one, and it's gonna keep going up and down and up. Like when you go up, you're gonna go higher than the
previous
the peak, right? And it just keeps going. And Bitcoin is showing us how it's going. And I think things are slower on the blockchain and crypto projects in general, but there is a big use cases behind them. Some of them will do very well. Many of them will not stay for long. And so that's why I'm telling you, in 2 years, we might still be in this noise where people are just talking about crypto. But in 10 years, which is, again, a long time, it's going to become much more, much more real, or much more not stable, that people actually think it's legit. Like, okay, this is legit, this is here, this is staying. And these are the projects that are like solving these certain problems.
Apart from Bitcoin, is there anything that sticks to your mind as being in that 1% that you feel that it will resist the time test?
Ripple /XRP. I think this is a project that had a lot of issues in the past, but I'm a believer since a while ago. And Ethereum, I guess, also is a project. I don't have big conviction as much as Bitcoin, but it's also a project that is proving the test of time. And so Ethereum is one of them, but that's it. The others are not worth mentioning because I'm not really sure.
Okay, I agree. I don't agree as much in XRP, but on BTC and Ethereum.
Okay.
And at the same time, I believe they will become invisible as they will be blend. We are using a lot of pipes in the wall that we don't know about them, and they will become those pipes in the wall that are blending with the infrastructure, and we are not seeing them anymore. They are just there and providing the value.
That's a nice way of.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. And you, Marius?
I'm not that close to that, to be honest. I was, once you guys were talking, I was just remembering a discussion with a lawyer in the weekend. He said he wants the blockchain to really solve the problem of public notary, like how's the English?
I know.
Notaries, because he said they're useless, from that perspective. So I want the blockchain to do that. More around the crypto side, well, I think Bitcoin for sure. I believe it's going to stay, and then
it's going to the moon.
To the moon, hopefully. On banana effect, there is this guy on YouTube who talks about the banana effect on that. But in the same time, I think there's, especially in Romania, because that's where I'm a little closer. I think a lot of people dream about getting rich about that, and I think a lot of them fall into the trap of investing even low money into some dodgy projects. Dodgy projects. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Okay.
We have a tradition at the end of the podcast where the previous guest left a question for you, and that question is like this: what ability do you think you need to develop in the next period of time so you to lead better the business, be a better person?
I'm going to head to AI again. If we keep going back there, because we're still in the very much beginning of a technology that we know will change society and the world as it is. And so not jumping on that train is dangerous. It's risky. And by jumping on the train, I mean having a certain level of knowledge in this technology. Okay, using GPT is one, which a lot of people do, but also a little bit more than that into understanding how it works, how it's impacting businesses, what platforms or tools can be used, not GPT, that can improve things. So this ability that I would learn is, I don't know what that ability is, but it's something in AI.
Related to AI.
It's to be able to be on that AI bandwagon, to still feel and be relevant in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and not jump off the train and feel left out.
I like the metaphor with the train, quite powerful. And I also really like the conversation, and thank you very much. Thank you for the information you offered, because I never considered food to be that complex. And I found it fascinating. I'm not sure about you, Emil, but
my mind is at Clătite right now. So
let's have some
make an order, because tomorrow Wala cu Bunătăți will deliver it to you about this time. So you
I'm
can
not allowed.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. It's okay.
So thank you very
allowed,
much.
You said?
Yeah, not allowed. I want to lose some weight, so.
Okay. So thank you for
I'm
having
not
me.
allowing myself.
Thank you for this.
Thank you for being here. It was a great pleasure for me.
Same here.